Hey everybody, it's Stan, aka Vimlossus, and today we are back with another review here at Vim's Toy Box. And we have finally looked at all the pieces from the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure wave. We've looked at them individually. So now we are going to take a look at the culmination of all those pieces that you see right here. This is the Man-Thing himself, and all these individual pieces look great, so I can't wait to get him together to take a look and see what he looks like as a whole thing. Man, I've been excited about this. I love doing these waves, but I hate doing these waves as well, just because it takes so long for us to get to this guy. But either way, let's get him built and take a look at him a little bit closer and see what we got. And here he is all put together, and holy shit, this guy is awesome. The level of detail in this sculpt is just... man, absolutely amazing. I know when I did my last Build-A-Figure review over at excludecollector.com, we took a look at the Build-A-Figure Gladiator Hulk from Thor Ragnarok, and he was amazing. This guy is just as good as him. Now, he doesn't have some of the armor pieces, obviously, but the sculpting and the paint in this is just phenomenal. So Hasbro, man, keep up the awesome work. I can't wait to see these other waves that are coming out, if their Build-A-Figures are going to look like this, and well, all of their characters basically. But this guy just looks phenomenal. There's just detail everywhere. The paint is superb. They probably could have, added a few things here and there, but man, overall, there's not a lot of things that I can really pick apart about this. So let's dive in, take a closer look at the details, and really see what we got. All right, looking at the details, man, I don't even know where to start on this. Just everything is phenomenal on the sculpt on this thing. It is a thing of beauty. I mean, just absolute beauty. Nice and hefty. I'll give him that. Nice solid Build-A-Figure, which is what I like. I like my Swamp Thing solid and not mushy. But either way, and he looks great. Let's take a look at the head. It's got these really cool bug eyes going on up here, followed by these kind of branch tendril things. But I mean, look at the sculpt in here. Look at that. Every one of these is sculpted. That's not just paint, ladies and gentlemen. That is all sculpted. They look fantastic, and you see they're not attached, so you can kind of move them around. Now, they do always want to kind of snap back into place, but even this middle one. But man, that looks fantastic. I mean, just look at the level of detail in this sculpt. Every solid piece on him is sculpted in some way. There is nothing that is plain or flat about it. I mean, this just looks... golly. I mean, you look up here and you see like little leaves and little bushes and all these vines going throughout, and these little, what do you call them? I call them little mushrooms that you see kind of hanging off the trees. I don't think that's what they are, but that's what I call them anyway. But everything, every centimeter is sculpted. I mean, just look at these arms. Excuse me. See, I'm getting all choked up just talking about it, because god damn, this looks amazing. Anyway, I mean, all the way down, I mean, there's just sculpting everywhere. Everywhere you look. The hands, these nails, this all looks fantastic. I love these little like moss pieces kind of coming off the arms here. That looks great. It kind of helps break up the silhouette a little bit. Although, you don't need a lot with this guy, because, I mean, just look at him. Just look at him. But he looks great. I mean, look at this. All the way down, you got more of these little mushrooms, more vines covering everything. More of these little moss pieces or flowy thingies. That's what I'm calling them. Technical term is flowy thingies. And these are kind of soft, but they look, I mean, amazing. All the way down to these feet. Look at that. Damn sharp toenails. God, this guy's creepy as hell. Man, if I saw this thing, I would definitely need a change of shorts, because I would literally piss myself right there. I mean, the sculpting is just amazing on this. The paint is really solid as well. They got this great green all the way throughout. They got some variations of the green, so they got some lighter green or some darker greens, but all in here they've just got this dirt wash and this paint kind of going on that really brings out all the details. If this was just a solid color, it would be so washed out and you wouldn't see anything, but because of the time they took and the level of detail they put in here, man, that just looks great. And we got a little bit browns kind of throughout, like here on his centerpiece and on his hands and running throughout these. And even up here, man, there's black all throughout. God, that just looks, man, that looks fantastic. His fingernails look great. Man, great job on this. There is, I don't know if you can see this too well, but there is a slight difference between this and this green here. This one seems to be a little shinier. This is a very matte, which is great, but here looks a little shinier. So it does throw it off just a little, but not enough to notice, man. I mean, when you're looking at all these other details, you can't really see it. I would like to have seen more of this brownish color throughout to kind of help break some of this up, but man, and that's just nitpicking at this point, because I mean, look at all this dirt in here. That's just phenomenal, and they carry it over through all the joints. So even in the front, when he's arched back, they carry all that over. Now on the joints themselves, you see they've even sculpted the joints, and I love it when they do that. On the back, not so much. It's very flat, but they did the paint wash here, so that looks amazing. So, whew, man, great job with the details on this guy. He just looks badass, man. Man, this is fantastic job on this guy. So the details are just amazing. You will continuously find things that you did not see before. Like, what the hell are these? I don't even know what that is, but it looks great. Man, great job. Fantastic job, guys. Really nice. Hasbro, you guys really outdid yourself on this one. Beautiful job. Alright, taking a look at his articulation now, just because of the way he looks and how beefy and bulky he is, he's going to have some limitations. You have to know this. So while he is limited in some ways, I can't fault it just because of the character itself. So when you get to the head, you see it's kind of jutted forward like this. So you know you're not going to get much movement. So he can't really look down, and that's because he's got all this stuff going on here. So looking down, not so much. He can look up just a little bit, and as a side to side, he gets more of a pivot this way, but there is no, and he does to get a little pivot that way as well, so you can kind of look that way and that way, so you can get some really cool poses out of it and show some expression, pardon me, even though it's a little limited in the head, but you know, like I said, it's to be expected, so I can't fault that. Down in the arms, he'll just have the standard peg that goes in there, and he can lift up about that far. He does have upper arm rotation, followed by a single jointed elbow. Now his elbow can't get up that much, but ooh, look at these biceps. Shit, I can't move that much. But so single jointed elbow. Is there a swivel? No swivel. It's just all in the upper arm. No lower arm rotation, but the hands do swivel around, and they should hinge in and out, but they're really stiff, and I feel that if I force them, it's going to break the peg that's in there, and I don't want to do that, and that's on both hands. You know, they don't see, I'm doing it's moving, but I feel like I'm just putting pressure on that peg, so I don't want to do it too much, but that's okay. Now, in the waist, he does have the ab crunch. Again, you know, I'm not a big fan of that, but it works with this guy. So he can bend forward that much, can bend back that far. No side to side, but he does have the waist swivel. Now, down in the legs, he's got standard joint in there, and here's where your Build-A-Figure piece connects. It's right there on that line. So it does have rotation, upper leg rotation, followed by a double jointed knee, which gets up to about there. It's pretty good for a big bulky guy. No lower leg rotation. The feet can move up a little bit. They can go back. You see what they did was they kind of parted these out of the way, so that way it does allow for some foot movement. And even in the back, you see they've parted it there so you can kind of get up out of the way. So you can go down, can go up. It even has ankle pivot, which is fantastic. So articulation, it's not the best, but it's to be expected for a character that's this big and bulky. So I can't fault it. I really can't. You don't expect him to, be a Spider-Man like. He's not going to be. He's just going to be big and kind of bearing down on you. But you should be able to get him into some great poses. So I think they did a fantastic job with the articulation, even with the limits of a body like this. Now, as far as accessories goes, he comes with nothing. He's a man-thing. He's a swamp beast. He doesn't need to come with anything. He doesn't have weapons. He doesn't have swords. He doesn't have guns. He doesn't have knives. He doesn't have batons. He doesn't need any of that. He will just kick your ass with what he's got. So, accessories, he doesn't come with anything, which is why he's hiding his head in shame. But you don't need him with this guy. You really, really don't. Now, as far as comparisons, here he is next to the Punisher and Daredevil from this wave. You can see he is quite a bit larger than these two, which is, well, to be expected. These guys are human. This is a man thing. So he's going to be bigger, but I really like this scale. Maybe he should have been a little bit taller, and he's still much bigger and bulkier than both of these guys. So that's really cool to see. He does look great next to these. Now here he is standing next to some other Build-A-Figures. We have the Red Skull Build-A-Figure and the Sandman. You see he is a little bit taller than Sandman, but not quite as tall as Red Skull. I don't have my Hulkbuster around. Maybe I do. Hold on. Alright, yes I do. Here he is. As you can see, he's quite a bit smaller than a Hulkbuster, but this is by far the biggest Build-A-Figure that I have so far. So you can see, he's a little smaller than those, but man, what can compare to Hulkbuster? I mean, honestly. So I do like this scale. He looks pretty good. Like I said, he is big and bulky like these other ones, so that is good to see. So not bad at all. Alright, so there we have it. My final thoughts on this guy are, oh man, the wait was well worth it. He is fantabulous. Yes, that's a word I just made up, and yes, we're going to go with that. He's just amazing. The sculpt, the level of detail, he's just a thing of beauty. You just love looking at him. I mean, everywhere on him is something new that you did not see before, and that's just amazing. So really great job on this Build-A-Figure. If you don't maybe want all the pieces, which I don't see why you wouldn't, because they're all fantastic, except for my Daredevil, who's a little loose, but all the other figures in this wave are great. So this is a really good wave from Hasbro. Again, they have really been stepping up their game, and I can't wait to see all the new releases that they have coming up this year. So go out, get the pieces you need for this guy. You will not be disappointed because he just looks amazing. So that's it for this Man-Thing Build-A-Figure wave. I'm not sure what I'm going to take a look at next. I've got quite a stack of toys sitting over here that I need to go through and review. So who knows? So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see when I've uploaded the next video, so you'll know what the next review will be on. If you like this review, go ahead and hit that like button down below, and we will see you for the next review. Peace.